Alright, all you Streetlight Crusaders, and I guess a couple of you wrestling fans out there tonight, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. And now it's time for us to talk about what happened during this week's edition of Monday Night Raw from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Now, before we begin this review, I still find it hard to believe that this was the 299th time that we reviewed an episode of Monday Night Raw on this show. Unbelievable. Can't believe we've been doing it for this long. But besides that, I can't believe it's not butter moment we just had, folks. Monday Night Raw would kick off with none other than Asuka making her way to the ring, about to face off against Charlotte Flair, only for none other than the brand new tag team champions of the women's division as of last Friday night, none other than Sasha Banks and Bayley, to hit the scene and to vocalize their opinion of them starting off Monday Night Raw instead of Asuka. Only for Charlotte to make her way out and try to make her point across that for them to celebrate with those belts for as long as they can, because somebody's gonna come along and swoop and take those belts away. Only for the people that a lot of people think is gonna swoop and take those belts away in the form of the Iconics to come out and make an announcement for Backlash that it will be a triple threat tag team match for those said championships. And for those whose history's a little bit hazy, the last time that Sasha Banks and Bayley defended the championships with more than one person out at ringside, which was at WrestleMania, they lost the belts, and would get reminded of that by Charlotte, only for a whole fight to break out thanks to Asuka, and for a tag team match to kick off, and a little bit of a teaser of what may happen at Backlash. Because it would be none other than Charlotte Flair and Asuka going one-on-one against the Iconics, and of course, Bayley and Sasha Banks. Or should I say more or less, Asuka and Charlotte versus each other and the Iconics. Because during this match, after Billie Kay would hit the Shades of Kay big boot for a near fall, you would only see them going against the I'm Better Than You team of Charlotte and Asuka, which would go into a back and forth war until the point where Asuka would stop Charlotte from doing a moonsault off the top rope and would apply the Asuka lock to Billie Kay to win this match in emphatic fashion via submission. And not to mention, during this match, Asuka would be throwing around hip attacks and kicks to the face more often than your average Bruce Lee karate film. But after the match was over, and while Asuka was celebrating with her championship belt, next thing you know, off the top rope, Charlotte, to get a revenge from the spotlight being stolen from her along with that victory, she would knock her out and then decide to take her belt and celebrate with it by saying, "You still haven't beaten me yet, woo!" Only for her to head backstage, and later on that night, while Asuka was singing around and dancing in the interview time of Charlotte, Charlotte would ask, "Do you take anything seriously?" Only for her to say, "Yes, I do," and slap Charlotte in the face, leading into their main event match later on the night. Not bad. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would be none other than Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo going one-on-one against Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy. And the only reason this match took place is because, I guess, after Seth Rollins would hit the scene to get a one-on-one interview with Rey Mysterio, and for Rey Mysterio to say once he's cleared, he's coming for revenge, only for Seth Rollins to say, "Oh, stop spreading those lies about what happened to you and accept it as a sacrifice, or something bad may happen to you," only for something bad to happen to Seth Rollins. Because from out of nowhere, Aleister Black would go lethal leaping over the announce table and beating the living ever daylight's flag tag out of one Seth Rollins. And he would be able to release more of his anger during this match by not only pulling off roundhouse kicks, but also in the closing moments of this match after Humberto Carrillo would do a nasty heat-seeking plancha to the outside of the ring. We would see Aleister Black pull off one of the sickest and probably one of the most disgusting Tiger knees from the top rope to Buddy Murphy, knocking him off, and for Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo to win this match via pinfall. And granted, during the set contest, folks, which we completely forgot to mention, Buddy Murphy would be able to hit his own Tiger knee to the face of one Aleister Black, but obviously not enough to take him out. But after the match was over, and in true sportsmanship-like manner, next thing you know, you would see Rey Mysterio's music go off, and Seth Rollins wearing a Rey Mysterio mask to distract not only Humberto Carrillo, but Aleister Black as well, only for them to get the ever-living Daylight's flag tag beaten out of them, with Humberto Carrillo getting sent into the post, and Aleister Black suffering the wrath of not only the Murphy's Law, but also the curb stomp in the center of the ring, including yet another Tiger knee to the face, courtesy of one Buddy Murphy. And Seth Rollins would say during this beating, this is what happens when you become a hero. Now you're gonna be sacrificed for him to get a blackout. Once again, for the second week in a row, for being a quote-unquote hero. Right. Then the next thing to take place on Monday Night Raw would see none other than Christian hosting another episode of the Peep Show with the rated R superstar Edge. And during this moment in the Peep Show, Christian would give some home truths to Edge by telling him, I was so proud of you of what you did at WrestleMania, but now with this match, I'm frankly disappointed because you came back thinking that you were going to get some one moment with a couple of one-liners, a spear here and a spear there, and I don't think you're taking this match seriously, and if you're not, then get out of the ring and go home. Only for Edge to stay right there and man his ground, only for Christian to give his seal of approval from not only him, but from his mother and everybody else who supports him heading into his match, which is dubbed now for what reason I don't know, possibly one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. And Edge, during that whole interview during the Peep Show, would say that's basically telling somebody that you have no gear, no equipment, no crew to climb Mount Everest without it and just go up to the top. Which is a great way to describe how they set up this match, and with Edge saying that he doesn't have that many cylinders left under the hood, it questions my resolve in him as well. And speaking of people who question the resolve of Edge, Randy Orton would pop up on the Titantron, not only sick of hearing from both Edge and Christian, but would say that he said that Edge was going to try this Sunday, but instead he vowed to break Edge this Sunday in their match, and the comeback story of Edge will come to an end. Only for Edge to pick up the microphone and say, no it's not, slam it on the ground, and cue Metalingus for Edge to make his way toward this Sunday for his big match. Then immediately after that, folks, the next thing to take place on Monday Night Raw, and thank you for reminding me, Maestro, would be the decathlon between the Street Profits and, of course, the Viking Raiders. And during several events, which included not only the 1,600-meter dash, the relay, I keep forgetting what it's called, the one where you have to jump over the hurdles, yeah, the hurdle relay, thank you, Maestro, hurdle relay. You also had sword fighting, shot put, and any other event that would be featured at the Olympics, with the exception of turkey eating and dancing, that I wish we could see on the Olympics for this year, but due to the current pandemic, I don't think it's gonna happen, so this was the closest thing we're gonna get to an Olympic event, which would end with a classic edition of the pole vault. Possibly one of my favorite Olympic events, which would see Montez Ford actually jumping over the bar, only for Air Ivar to jump just a little bit higher and do a front flip along the way that tied the series once again with 5 apiece. So this seems to be one of those battles that they're doomed to fight against each other forever without a shot in sight at the tag team championships. But respect to be had between the both of them. I can only imagine what the event's gonna be next week. And oh, we almost forgot to mention during the sword fighting event, Montez Ford, probably with the funniest thing I've seen, while both of them were just getting ready to fight, Montez said, "Nope, I quit. I can't do this, fam. I can't do this." And according to the maestro, he said, "Didn't we say that last week?" Yeah, but it was with gator rolling, not sword fighting. And not to mention with that close call, with that sword almost landing a little bit to the private parts of Montez Ford, I could see the reason why he would forfeit. I mean, I would try to give it a try, but I'm not in a decathlon, or decathlon, however you say it, Maestro. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would see El Idolo, Andrade Cien Almas, going one-on-one against Angel Garza and Kevin Owens for a #1 contendership triple threat match for the winner to face off against Apollo Crews for the United States Championship at Backlash. And during this said match, or should I say before this match could even begin, you would see some confidence from Apollo. Not only that, but some brand new entrance music to fit his new championship reign. Not bad. Not bad at all. But during this said contest, Andrade Cien Almas and Angel Garza would both team up on Kevin Owens, who got a surprise attack on the both of them before they could even hit down the ring, ultimately getting his revenge for what happened to him about 2 weeks ago. And to make things even better, they would get their revenge on him by beating the ever-living Daylight's flag tag out of him, putting him in leg submission holds, and trying to beat the crap out of him, all while trying to get the pinfall for themselves, for a malfunction and the junction to happen with the both of them arguing back and forth with each other to knock over Selena Vega in their arguing and fisticuffs that took place on the outside of the ring. And ultimately, this match will come to an end again after Angel Garza would try to do his wing clipper after Andrade Cien Almas would be eliminated from this match, meaning that he was knocked out on the outside of the ring. You would see Kevin Owens counter back with a KO stunner, and for Angel Garza to get pinned not by Kevin Owens, but by Andrade Cien Almas, who decided to do a drop kick to Kevin Owens, enabling him to actually capitalize on that pin for Andrade Cien Almas to win this match and to fight against Apollo Crews this Sunday via pinfall. And after the match was over, both of them would argue back and forth about that pinfall decision, only for Selena Vega clutching her neck to point at the both of them to get out of here, for her to just have an angry snarl after what happened. And I don't blame her, because she got knocked out because of their arguing. And I guess with that said, folks, we might as well head back into the music, and when we return, we'll be back with the second half of what happened during this week's edition of Monday Night Raw from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, right after this. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks, and stay tuned.